Morning, 9th of February. Couldn't find me cheap mics, so I'm on the DJI mics. So the sound should be a little bit better, but there's not much difference between mics, is there? I will come out for a walk. It's kind of cloudy. I did not want to get out of bed. I really didn't. I've got no energy whatsoever. So this is kind of a force. And, you know, people say, oh, how can you force yourself to do this? And it's because you're doing the services when you're in the military. You can't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm too knackered to go. The sergeant major will flip and shout at you so loud you flip and vibrate out of bed. And it gets you conditioned to force your body into doing things. Right, so let's swing you around the front, show you where I am. I'm not just going to go around this way through the golf course and what are you. No, somebody was saying they like me talking about my service career, and fair enough. I'll give you some bits of pieces of my service career. I mean, I was only 18 when I joined the Royal Air Force at Swindon, and doggy. I can't say I actually was enjoying it, you know. When you come from civilian street and you're thrown into a military establishment where you've got to do everything by the book and you're marching left, right, and it takes ages to get used to that. But you've only got 6 weeks of training, and say I went off then where did I go from there? Actually, I was ATC. I was going for, because I was interested in aeroplanes at that point, and I had selected radar as my forte, and I went down to Bawdy, and that's our southern east coast radar bases. And I thought, oh well, can it be that far? Anyway, I got the had to get from Swindon. I had to get a bus, I think it was, to the railway station. Then I had to get a train down to Suffolk, thereabouts, and eventually I got to the coastline. Near the coastline, and I had to get a boat out to Bawdy. So I had this adventure on the day, arriving there, and we're in a kind of a bungalow type bedding and what have you, and we had a mess and what have you. But anyway, radar with these big radars dishes, must have been about 2 feet across, the screens, and we used to load in recordings. We weren't controlling actual real ones, but we were doing recordings, and we had to do a test where we come up and we see the aircraft dots coming in, and oh, I don't like the looks of this. Look, I think we're going to carry up a little bit further. So we kind of had to do the November Kilo Bravo Kilo 25 Southwest pending Kilo Alpha 704. We had to do that because all the radar dishes were in a chest type information, you know, a chessboard, and each one of the chessboards had another chessboard inside that, so you could narrow down your target. Your biggest problem I had was controlling the aircraft. You have to do 60 a minute, which is 1 a second, and my maximum I think was 30, so no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't actually get past that 30. So when we did the test again, we still couldn't get more than 30, and I thought, well, what am I going to do here? Anyway, I got removed from the ATC, and I was arguing the point that this is where I wanted, and I missed my bus to get me to the station, so commanding officer wasn't very happy, and he kicked me onto a taxi and says, go on Robson, go. But before we went from there, he knew how interested I was in UFOs, and he loaded up a top secret radar. At the time it was top secret anyway, where an object was coming down east coast, and it was picking up speed toward London. I say it was not identifying or anything like that, so they go to an alert because the bears or the Russians used to come in and test us all the time, and of course it's a game they play, but this thing wasn't identifying as a bear or anything else for that matter. Look, we're at the terminus area where the bus goes, so we're gonna have a walk around, see what we can find, see what we can get into the... I don't think we can. It's going to be very muddy anyway. We'll have a wander back down the front, eh? Yeah, so the aircraft was coming down and down and down. Morning. Yeah, so it got down to about Newcastle, and it wasn't identifying, going down the wrong way of the motorway, and we launched. Well, we didn't launch, we went to a DEFCON 3, 1, 2 and 3, and by the time I got to Newcastle, or just south of Newcastle, they were panicking, so they launched 2 Lightnings, and these Lightnings went up hit Mach 2, and saw this glowing object which just stopped dead and just left these lightnings standstilled, you know, and you can't deny the fact. And then from there, I got in a taxi, went and got on the train and went down to where did I go from there? I went down to Heathrow, to the RF base down West Drayton. He says, you're getting moved to another trade. I says, what am I going to be going? He says, trade assistant general. I says, oh, that's fast being promoted, but that meant dog's body. So we went into there and worked in the kitchens, scrubbing pans for about 6 months. Anyway, I'm going to pause you because we're at 9 minutes. I want to show you the front, so hang on. Oh, we've made it to the front. I'm knackered, my stomach's twinging, and got a few pains, but you need to walk to actually get your stomach working properly and get your muscles working and get your blood flowing around. Sitting down all day is not good for you because, well, I wouldn't say your blood's static, but it's a lot slower than it should be, you know. it needs to go around your body a lot faster. So walking is, you don't have to run, you just take a stroll, stop every few minutes. So tomorrow, on my next vlog, I'll do from West Drayton to my next posting. Pretty cold, this wind that's hitting on the front of me at the minute. Aye. The sea looks pretty rough. It's not as smooth as it was the other day, I tell you. The old playground yard there. That's where the seats are, but I'm not going up there today. No unauthorised people on the beach. Let's have a look at the front, and then we'll call it a day, because that is 11 minutes. There you go, look. It's a cold wind from the front. And there's the dustbin men going down there to get all the bins unloaded. Anyway, I'm going back home, have a cup out, warm these cold hands up. Look, they're going red. And we'll catch you later. Bye for now.